My film is not a movie.
Mon film n'est pas une film.
My film is not about Vietnam.
C'est pas un sujet du Vietnam.
It is Vietnam.
C'est Vietnam.
It's what it was really like. It was crazy.
C'était comment était Vietnam réellement, vraiment.
And the way we made it was very much like the way the Americans were in Vietnam. We were in the jungle.
On était au jungle.
There were too many of us.
Et on était de trop dans l'équipe.
We had access to too much money.
On avait accès à trop d'argent.
Too much equipment.
Trop d'équipement.
And little by little we went insane.
Et peu à peu.
A bigger division now when we talk about one of the most talked about films in years, Francis Coppola's Vietnam War film, Apocalypse Now. It's almost been 10 years in the making. One of the first Vietnam War films conceived, but yet it's going to be one of the last big ones, I'm afraid, to be released. It's the story of a young Army captain, Martin Sheen, being sent up a river to Cambodia to kill a renegade Army colonel, Marlon Brando, who's been disobeying orders and has set up his own jungle kingdom. Farther up the river, Sheen encounters a warmongering Army Colonel, Robert Duvall, who says he loves the smell of napalm. He says it smells like victory. And he also loves to play Wagner over his helicopter's loudspeaker while leading his men into battle. Now, this is a very big film that tries to say a lot of conventional things about the war, about the arrogance of our war effort. That part of the film is very colorful, impressive, sometimes even memorable. But Apocalypse Now is also after a much bigger target, nothing less, I think, than a speculation on the nature and source of good and evil in the world, how the war came about. On that score, I think it fails completely. The Brando character, who we wait for 2 hours to meet, has nothing to say, and we walk out of Apocalypse Now wondering, what's the big deal?
I thought it was a pretty good deal. I think that right here we have one of the more fundamental disagreements we've ever had in doing this show. I think, first of all, as a broad statement, Apocalypse Now is a very good film, very much worth seeing. Then to address myself more to what you said, I think the ending of this film is going to be debated for the next 50 years, whether or not the Brando character works, whether the last half hour works. I think we can save ourselves a lot of time if I admit to you right now that although I think the last half hour works, I doubt if I can ever convince you of that, and that the first 2 hours of the film are certainly among the most, consist of some of the most beautiful, heartbreaking, tragic, memorable footage of war that I've ever seen.
And you're referring to things like the helicopter with the music.
Fucking savages. Holy Christ, she's a savage. I'm gonna get that dink bitch. Get over there, Johnny. I'm blowing in. Put the right skid right up her ass.
Yes. Let me tell you, Raj, that I don't think it's such a big achievement to make a heart-rending film about Vietnam. I think that America is so conflicted about the war. The people who served feel bad about it. The people who didn't serve feel bad about it. The people who didn't stop it. I think that you can show almost anything to do with Vietnam and people feel, oh my God, the human waste.
That may be true, but on the other hand, this movie is made on such an epic scale. The filmmaking is so good. The performances, particularly by Martin Sheen and Robert Duvall, are so good that we don't see stuff like this every day. This is an extraordinary event.
I wish that I could say that to you. There's a couple of times when my heart was broken in a special way, when one guy kills a Vietnamese woman. But other than that, I thought this was the same old standard Vietnam stuff, yes, done on a bigger scale, with a bigger budget, but the big payoff, and this is the ending is unfortunately there. There is a journey up the river, and we get there. Brando has nothing.
The ending didn't work for you, it worked more for me. I think that essentially the two of us are representing the two basic attitudes toward this film. Some people think the ending doesn't work and it's just another war movie. Other people think that it transcends other war movies. It's a little better, a little more brilliant, a little more important. I'm in that camp.
Okay, and I guess I'm saying to people, if they go and they wonder what the heck is the ending about, I'm with them. I wondered too.
And I'm feeling like a idiot, having set in motion stuff that doesn't make any sense, that doesn't match. And yet I'm doing it, and the reason I'm doing it is out of desperation, because I have no rational way to do it. What I have to admit is that I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, how do you account for the discrepancy between what you feel about it and what everybody else who sees it or the other?
Because they see the magic of what has happened before. I'm saying, hey, it's not gonna happen. I don't have any performances. The script doesn't make sense. I have no ending. I'm like a voice crying out, saying, please, it's not working. Somebody get me off this. And nobody listens to me. Everyone says, yes, well, Francis works best in a crisis. I'm saying this is one crisis I'm not going to pull myself out of. I'm making a bad movie, so why should I go ahead? I'd rather I'm going to be bankrupt anyway. Why can't I just have the courage to say it's no good?